basically what we're doing. It's not duo, it's not zone, but it's kind of its own deal. Maybe it's wedge, hell, I don't know. But it's because of the width of our receiver splits. And if you watch us, man, those guys are way out there, and we've gotten to where we bring them in and condense sets a little bit more. Thought AG kind of did a good job with that piece of it. But basically, what it does is we've got to block as vertical as possible, and our running back has to run as vertical as possible. One, because we've spread all these guys out as far as we possibly can. Well, the fastest way to get the end zone is a straight line. So there's not a whole lot of setting up blocks. It's more trying to run as fast as you can straight ahead. So like this clip, I always thought kind of illustrated that a little bit, that, man, if you can get vertical right now, you got a chance to split the defense. And obviously if it's too high, it makes it a little bit easier. And obviously if you got somebody that's super fast, makes it even better as well. But man, our whole mission in life is to win the inside game and try to do that through inside footwork. And you'll see as we go through it some why that makes sense for us. Watching this clip, man, both tackles are going to hammer, and then we'll get into it. But you'll see it's that 4-inch lateral step. We're going to try to take our second step to the crotch. I wish both of them with their outside hand would start a little bit lower, but where they end up in that fit and trying to drive vertical and go in, because everything we want to do is get this way and get the back going vertical and almost like a big ass quarterback sneak, really. Every single play is kind of the next main block. I won't talk as much about it, but like if you're watching the right tackle, and this was us just running insert, bring tight end. People run a lot of it with counter. We did with insert a couple times, pretty good. But trying to get on 45 and then engage my hips and go drive and try to see if I can't run a mud hole through his ass. And same thing, it's just a little bit farther. Sometimes we'll shuffle or gallop. Sometimes we'll run into it depending on the nose. And, man, my right guard, I'd love for him to gain a little bit more ground and that foot to hit on 45. But I do think in game of football, like you're battling to be as technically sound as you can be, but also to play as violent and fast as you possibly can. But that's kind of a big bite, and think about it, I'm going to use this as an example too, as we keep going through hammer. But man, this shoot a deuce or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. And it ain't perfect by nail, but it's still stepping with your inside foot, still trying to drive your second step into the ground. I think that's part of the reason, again, the hammer piece of it makes sense for us. Like, man, if you watch Nell here, this first one where he's at left tackle, where he's galloping, like, man, try to gain a little bit on that first one. Like I heard Atkins, and I try to make contact with both my feet in the ground. He uses his left, kind of load him up, and then man can go use his hips and dent some gun. But that's the next thing we'll always talk about. And the last thing's pulls. I used to, back in the day, had a couple of guards that could freaking pull and roll and go run through your skull. JC, probably one of my favorite players of all time. I wish he would go run and be a lot more violent at point contact. But man, he is trying to throw his uppercuts. He is trying to hit right, pull right, hit right, and go finish on the right side of it. Right. Then, obviously you want to try to go push the pile and have fun and, man, try to play the game the right way. Same thing with Sprague. I heard Alex say it, so I'm not going to touch on it a ton, but man, we're fighting to get our hat inside. I do like almost grabbing hold of my arms like that. I think it just helps maintain the block. I'm not going to keep it there forever and get a holding call, but at least initially when I pull with speed, it makes it a lot easier. And then obviously with the skip pull here with Nell, man, all we talk about is whenever I do make that decision is getting as tight and turn vertical as I possibly can.